So, hi everyone. Today we are going to be practicing 2023 October November hard questions. Only the hard questions we're going to be practicing. And the aim of this video is to get a 40 on 40. Okay, after practicing, you must have noticed that getting a 35 on 40 is easy. But with 5 marks और होते हैं ना, to get a 40 on 40, that's extremely hard. Because of these challenging questions that are not very easy, or examiner reports may after every year the examiner discusses all the challenging questions and the trap or pitfall the students fall into. So in this video what we're going to do is we're only going to be focusing on the hard questions and our aim is to get a 40 on 40. Okay, in chemistry MCQs we want to get a 40 on 40. Okay, a 35, a 38, 37 is not acceptable because we just fall into some common traps that hinder the 40 on 40. Okay, if we just avoid them, we understand the pattern, we understand that how examiner tries to create a distractor answer in MCQs, we can easily get a 40 on 40. So let's get started. And the questions I have identified as difficult is not on the basis of my judgment, it's according to the examiner reports. Examiner himself tells all the questions. If you read the examiner reports in which students confuse, they fall into traps. Read this line from the examiner report. The choice of distractor in the following items shows where candidates who performed less well have gaps in their knowledge, skills, or understanding. What do you understand by this word distractor? That's a very good word the examiner used, and the word is distractor. That means that in all the options you see, there is one or two options that are identified by the examiner as a distractor. Matlab, these options are deliberately created to distract you guys from the original ones, like just as the mobile phones, your social media, all that's distracting you from studies. Similarly, an option is going to be there to distract you, deviate you from the right one, and if you have gaps in your knowledge, you're going to fall into. So, okay, for paper 11, 2023, October, November, these are all the questions identified by the examiner as difficult, in which students found difficulty and they fall into, trap. I would say it an examiner's trap because that's where students fall. Acha, let's start by the first question. And my aim is not to just tell you the right answer. The aim is to get a 40 on 40, for which you guys must know that you got to understand the concept behind it, the knowledge behind it, and the key takeaway from every question should be clear to you. Okay, reading the first question, which says that compound Y is the only substance formed. Okay, the word only is very important. When 500 cm cube of ammonia reacts with 250 cm cube of carbon dioxide. All measurements at RTP. Okay, what is the formula of Y? Okay, to start with this question, I would say the main thing over here is that student might not know is that your volume ratio in your moles question equals to your mole ratio. Okay? That's a challenging concept that was faced by candidates in this question, that your volume ratio equals to your mole ratio. ठीक है, मतलब देखें, over here the volume ratio for ammonia and 250 cm cube of carbon dioxide is, this is ammonia NH3 and ratio carbon dioxide 500 ratio 250, and if you cut it down, that's 2 times and that's 1 times. ठीक है, if you're not proficient with it, go on to use a calculator. ठीक है, ये आपकी रेशो आ गई. दिस इज़ योर वॉल्यूम रेशो. ठीक है, अब टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यही आपके मोल्स की रेशो भी होएगी. देखें, अब आपके रिएक्टेंट्स क्या हैं? अमोनिया, NH3 आपका अमोनिया एंड प्लस योर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, और बोथ ऑफ दीज रिएक्ट टू फॉर्म योर कॉम्पाउंड Y. एंड कॉम्पाउंड Y इज़ समथिंग दैट्स द ओनली सब्सटेंस फॉर्म्ड. इसके अलावा कुछ भी नहीं बना. एंड द मोल रेशो ओवर हियर वी जस्ट आइडेंटिफाइड was 2:1. ठीक है, that means that there's going to be a 2 over here with ammonia and a 1 with carbon dioxide. ठीक है, इसका मतलब है अगर प्रोडक्ट साइड पे ये सब कुछ है तो रिएक्टेंट साइड पे भी यही सब कुछ होएगा ना. रिएक्टेंट में भी इक्वल नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स होंगे, क्योंकि ये तो एक बैलेंस्ड वो है ना, 2 इधर 1 इधर, दैट शोज़ कि ये बैलेंस्ड है. और अब प्रोडक्ट साइड पे भी वी हैव टू मेक एन इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ थिंग्स. तो this y is going to be something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I know for sure one thing, that y is going to have 2 nitrogens. ठीक है, यहाँ पे 2 nitrogens I can see, so it's going to have 2n. Okay, second thing I see is 2 multiplied by 3 means 2 3 times 6. That means it's going to have 6 hydrogens. So 6 hydrogens. Done with it. My product y, because it's the only substance और कुछ भी नहीं बना, तो it's going to have 1 carbon. 1 carbon, and 1 times 2 is 2 and 2 oxygens. ठीक है, so this is the chemical composition of my product Y. Now let's view all the options and let's see which one's correct. अच्छा, यहाँ पे 2 nitrogens है, ये 2 इससे multiply होता है, and then we have 4 times 2, that's 8 hydrogens. I guess that's not matching with our hydrogens. We figured it out that we should have 6 hydrogens, and this has 8 hydrogens, so I'll cross it out. Moving on to the next part. We have 1 nitrogen, we have 2 nitrogens, so 2n. Then we have 4 hydrogens and 6 hydrogens, 6h. Okay, until now we're good to go. We have 1 carbon, ठीक है, and then we have 2 oxygens. So we have 2 oxygens. I guess that's exactly what we figured out, so it's going to be option B. Option C, let's analyze as well. We know the correct one is this. Acha, 2 nitrogens and good. Okay, 4 hydrogens, incorrect. We need 6 hydrogens. Then again 2 nitrogens and 4 and 4, 8 hydrogens. That's incorrect. ठीक है. One other thing I'd like to suggest to you guys while solving these MCQs is that before I tell you the right answer, if you genuinely want to practice, you want to know where you guys stand, it's good that you practice it yourself and you identify the right option before I tell. So otherwise you're going to just like, when I tell the right one, you're going to say, I also thought about the same. That's going to be incorrect. ठीक है. So पहले आप अपना confirm कर लें that this one's mine, and then on the video and see that either it's correct or not. Okay, now next question is, how many sodium ions are there in 30 grams of sodium sulfate? Now the challenging part, which many candidates found challenging in this question, was this thing, sodium sulfate. What they thought was कि sodium है और एक sulfate है, so let's just find the moles out of the 31 and quickly find out the moles and then circle option A, because option A exactly उसी pattern पे है कि simply moles find out किए 30 grams में और वो कर दिया. But what they failed to see was the formula of sodium sulfate. If you know that sodium is Na+1 and sulfate is SO4 2 negative, and you should know that if you have learnt it, कि to balance out a charge of 2 negative, we need 2 sodiums. We need 2 plus. We need a charge of 2 plus to balance out 2 negative. So we're going to take 2 sodium. So the formula for sodium sulfate is going to be Na2SO4. So that was the key concept over here. ठीक है. अब simply we have to find the number of ions. For that first we're going to find the MR. For that first we need to find the moles, but to find the moles we need the MR. So moles equal to mass, which is 30 grams we know, upon MR, which is what we don't know, but we're going to find it out. For sodium, let's take the relative atomic mass. For sodium it's 21, and since we have 2 sodiums, we're going to multiply it by 2, and then we add in it 1 for sulfur. Sulfur is 32, I guess. You can check it from the periodic table. And then we have oxygen. Oxygen is 16, because since we have 4 oxygen, 16 times 4. And we got to plug it in our calculator, which is 21 times 2 plus 32 plus, it's going to be 16 times 4. And that gives us 138. So equals to 138. We have our mass, which was given in the question as 30 grams of sodium sulfate. 30 grams of sodium sulfate upon the MR, which is 138. Let's see, what's 30 upon 138? Mass divided by MR, which gives us these number of moles. So let's paste it over here. Okay, these are the moles we got, moles of sodium sulfate. Now one thing important over here is कि अब candidates didn't even realize कि देखें यहाँ पे 2 लिखा हुआ है, मतलब जितने ये सोडियम सल्फेट के मोल्स हैं, इसमें सोडियम के कितने मोल्स होंगे? रिमेंबर, सोडियम सल्फेट के 0.2 मोल्स में सोडियम के 2 मोल्स होंगे। समझ आई? तो मतलब इस नंबर को जब हम मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे 2 से तो हमारे पास सोडियम आइंस आ जाएंगे कि उसमें सोडियम कितने हैं। और इसमें सल्फ़ेट के कितने मोल्स होंगे? सल्फ़ेट के सेम ही होंगे, बिकॉज सल्फ़ेट तो 1 है ना, हम 1 सल्फ़ेट ले रहे हैं ना, तो ये नंबर मल्टीप्लाई होएगा 1 से टू गेट द आइंस ऑफ सल्फ़ेट। ठीक है, मोल्स फॉर द आइंस ऑफ सल्फ़ेट। तो अब हम इन मोल्स को मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे 2 से, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हमारे पास 2 सोडियम है। सो 0.2 इतना, वी डोंट हैव टू टेक like this long answer. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take 0.22. ठीक है, 22 significant figures. So 0.22 multiplied by 2, that's gonna give me 0.44 moles. 0.44 moles of, ये किस चीज़ के moles आ गए? Of sodium ions, Na plus ions. Now one thing important over here is that you should know that 1 mole contains 6.02, ये जो ऑप्शन सी है ना, ये होते हैं 1 मोल में नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स। तो इतने मोल्स में कितने होंगे? सिंपल रेशो अप्लाई करें, देखें 1 मोल में मेरे पास हैं 6.02 इंटू 10 एक्सपोनेंट 23 पार्टिकल्स। अब मेरे पास सोडियम क्या आए हैं 0.44 मोल्स, तो उसमें कितने पार्टिकल्स होंगे? x. So that means कि we multiply 0.44 with this and we're going to get the value of x multiplied by I guess I don't have an option of exponent over here, so we're going to do is I'm going to do it on my calculator. So 0.44 multiplied by 6.02 into 10 exponent 23, and I get my answer as 2.6488 into 10 exponent 23, and these are the particles of sodium that I'm gonna have. Okay, now let's view which option is closest. So यहाँ पे I guess the answer I got, which was this 2.6488 into 10 exponent 23, I guess option B is the closest. ठीक है, you can round it off. 2.54 almost उसके close है, तो this can be correct, but option A तो बिल्कुल नहीं, option C भी नहीं, और option D भी नहीं. So moving on to the next difficult question, which was this one. Let's read it. Aqueous copper 2 sulfate is electrolyzed with copper electrodes. Achha, reading this question, I understand that what was the thing that was found challenging by the students. They didn't read it carefully. Copper electrodes, I am sure 50 more than majority, more than 50% would have missed the word copper electrodes. They wouldn't have realized that copper electrodes, examiner just writes a single word, and that changes the entire context of your answer. Okay? The word was copper electrodes. This means that now the electrodes, they're going to be reactive. They're going to take part in the reaction. And majority would have taken it for inert electrodes. I'm sure about this. What is the equation for the reaction occurring at the anode? They would have thought कि copper sulfate है, तो anode पे what's going to happen is that a negative ion is going to discharge, और negative ion में क्योंकि aqueous है, तो that's going to be the hydroxide ion. Option C, but that's incorrect because we're using copper electrodes, and the moment the examiner says that your electrodes are reactive, remember, you forget everything and you just know that at the anode my reactive electrode's gonna oxidize, at the cathode my reactive electrode is gonna oxidize. Anox, red cat, remember it. Anode पे ऑक्सीडेशन, तो एनओक्स, ठीक है, मतलब वहाँ पे लॉस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होता है. रेड कैट, कैथोड पे रिडक्शन. सो ऑक्सीडेशन इज़ बेसिकली माय लॉस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, मतलब मेरे एनोड पे मेरा लॉस होना है इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का. और कॉपर है, कॉपर में से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को लूज़ कराना है. सो कॉपर विल फॉर्म 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, लूज 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एंड फॉर्म कॉपर 2+ आयंस. सो इट्स गोना बी ऑप्शन ए. ठीक है, ऑप्शन बी जो है ये हमारा है for cathode. और ये तो ये these were the distractors the examiner was talking about. You can read the examiner report over here about this question. Where is this question? Oh, look at this thing. Candidates choosing option C have given the correct answer for inert electrodes, whereas the question specifies copper electrodes. Oh, that's the thing where you guys suffer when you don't read the question. You know, question asking about inert and you giving answer for reactive. Question asking about reactive and you giving answer about inert. Okay, moving on. Under certain conditions, this one's a really hard question. Under certain conditions, nitrogen reacts with oxygen to form N2O. The reaction pathway diagram is shown. ठीक है, simple. Figuring this out, these are your reactants. ठीक है. To make the diagram easy, just label it. These are your reactants. These are your products. And I know that my reactants are lower, having a low energy. My products have high energy, so I just quickly figured it out that this is an endothermic reaction. ठीक है, क्योंकि reactants के पास कम energy है, products के पास ज़्यादा है. ठीक है, figured out the reaction. Moving on, what is the activation energy for the reverse reaction? The key takeaway over here is activation energy, either it's endothermic or exothermic, is always positive. No matter whatever the situation you're in, activation energy is always positive. Just write it somewhere. This is a very commonly tested thing and candidates fall into the trap. These negative activation energies, they're distractors, and you just cross them out right here. Activation energy for both exo and endo. ठीक है, they think कि reverse reaction तो हमारा exo होगा तो activation energy भी negative होगी. For both exo and endo is positive. ठीक है, it has to be positive. And that's the key takeaway, that activation energy for both reactions, forward, backward, exo, endo, for every reaction is going to be positive. अब हमें figure out क्या करना है इस question में. हमें figure out करना है कि अब हमारी एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी जो रिवर्स रिएक्शन के लिए है, रिवर्स रिएक्शन क्योंकि फॉरवर्ड रिएक्शन हमारा एंडोथर्मिक है, अपनी डायग्राम लिया करें. द बेस्ट थिंग इज़ फॉरवर्ड जो है उस पर लिख लिया करें एंडो, और उसी टाइम आपको पता चल जाएगा जो आपका बैकवर्ड है वो है एक्सो. तो मतलब मेरा बैकवर्ड रिएक्शन है एक्सोथर्मिक. अब एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन में एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी होती थी नीचे रिएक्टेंट से लेके ऊपर पीक तक, है ना. ये हमारी एंडो के लिए थी. तो एक्सो के लिए क्या होगी? एक्सो के लिए याद है जो आपका प्रोडक्ट लेवल होता था, जो देखें एक्सो ऐसे बनता था ना, प्रोडक्ट्स रिएक्टेंट्स ऊपर और प्रोडक्ट्स नीचे. मतलब ये जो आपका रिएक्टेंट लेवल होता था यहाँ से लेके आपकी पीक तक, मतलब समवेयर एट दिस लेवल, इस लेवल से लेके आपकी पीक तक, ये आपकी एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी है. यहाँ से लेके लेट मी make it with a dotted line, somewhere here, इधर से लेके आपके यहाँ तक is your activation energy. तो मतलब आपको इस टोटल, ये जो टोटल है 4,447, इसमें से ये टोटल 447 यहाँ तक है. इसमें से आपको इतना पार्ट नीचे वाला सारा पार्ट माइनस करना होगा. मतलब 164 अंदर से माइनस करना होगा ताकि आपका यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक आ सके. समझ आए? देखें यहाँ तक आपका है, ये टोटल लाइन आपकी है 447. अब इस टोटल लाइन में से आपको नीचे वाली लाइन को माइनस करना होगा सिर्फ इतना फाइंड करने के लिए, सिर्फ यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक फाइंड करने के लिए. तो आपको अंदर से 164 माइनस करना होगा. तो 447 माइनस 164, 447 minus 164, and that should give me 283. So 283 kilojoules per mole is going to be from here to here, which is my activation energy, and that is 200. Yeah, positive. Activation energy always has to be positive, can never be negative. So done with it. I guess that was the most confusing thing. Let's read the examiner report about it. Question number 14. What was the challenging part for the candidates? Question number 14. The majority candidates chose option A and option B. These candidates did not understand that activation energies are positive values. Simple. That's what most people struggle with to understand that activation energy, no matter for exo or endo, has to be a positive value. Moving on, and other question that's gonna make you fall into its trap, that's gonna allure you to the wrong option, that's gonna, move you towards the wrong option. Let's read it. But you have to understand that you have to read each and everything carefully, identify the distractor, and cross it out as soon as possible. A student plans to investigate how the rate of the reaction changes when hydrochloric acid and calcium carbonate react. Simple reaction. We have studied it out. A carbonate reacting with an acid to form a salt, water, and carbon dioxide. 3 methods are described. Okay, now the key thing over here is which methods could be used to measure how the rate of the reaction changes. How the rate of the reaction changes. मतलब we have to follow the change in the rate of reaction. We have to go and we have to see the progress, ठीक है? Progress or change in the rate. 3 methods are described. Let's look at method 1 and we have to see which method is correct. Okay, record the mass of the flask. ठीक है, पहले फ्लास्क लिया, उसमें अपना HCl डाला, उसमें अपना कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट डाला, बैलेंस डाला, कॉटन वूल डाला. कॉटन वूल इसलिए होता है टू प्रिवेंट द स्प्लैशिंग ऑफ द लिक्विड एंड टू अलाउ द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस टू एस्केप. ठीक है. Flask contains every 30 seconds for 5 minutes. Every 30 seconds for 5 minutes. अब आप मुझे एक बात बताएं, अगर आप हर 30 seconds बाद अपने फ्लास्क का जो है वो मेजर करते हैं और फॉर 5 minutes करते हैं. अच्छा, बिफोर answering the right option, I'd like if you guys choose your answer. Please quickly just stop the video and choose your answer. That's going to tell you where you guys stand. Quickly choose it, okay? So when I tell the right one, you guys, don't, just don't say that that was what I chose as well, because that's going to just not make you practice. अच्छा, for every 5 minutes. देखिए, अब हमने measure करना था change, ठीक है? और जब हम हर 5 minutes बाद अपना rate of reaction measure करें उसका mass, we're going to know that at the end how much mass we lost, ठीक है, after every 30 seconds. For instance, अगर मैं ये वाला procedure follow कर रहे हैं, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a table, something like this. I'm going to say that this is my mass, loss in mass, and this is my time. पहला time होगा मेरा 30 पे, अगला टाइम होगा मेरा 60 पे, अगला टाइम मेरा होगा 120 पे, अगला टाइम मेरा होगा 150 पे, और ऐसे हर 30 seconds बाद आई एम गोना मेजर माई टाइम. अगला होएगा 180 पे, फिर 210 पे, इसी तरह फॉर एग्जैक्टली 5 minutes. ठीक है, 5 minutes के लिए आई एम गोना मेजर माई टाइम. और पहले मेरा मास फॉर इंस्टेंस था 80 grams, फिर हो गया 74 grams, फिर 72 grams, और इस तरह मेरा मास डिक्रीज़ होता रहा. ठीक है, सो दैट्स हाउ आई एम मेजरिंग माई चेंज. What do you guys think? Will this thing tell you about the change? I guess yes, because you're measuring it for 5 minutes after every 30 seconds, and that's going to definitely tell you about the change. 5 minutes the reaction almost over ho chuka hoega, so the change would be identified. Moving on to option 2. ठीक है, measure and record the volume of the gas in this syringe after 30 seconds. ठीक है, after 30 seconds, ठीक है, मैंने क्या किया, मैंने एक टेबल बनाया और मेरे टेबल में सिर्फ आफ्टर 30 seconds है, बिकॉज यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा कि फॉर 5 minutes. ठीक है, ऑप्शन 2 में कहीं नहीं लिखा फॉर 5 minutes. तो माई मास आफ्टर sorry, this one's going to be my time after 30 seconds was mass, not my mass, it's going to be my volume of gas. I'm sorry for this. Volume of gas after 30 seconds, for example 50 cm cube of gas, not 50, that's going to be a lot, almost 30 cm, not 35, 25 cm cube of my gas is collected after 30 seconds. What do you guys think? Will this apparatus allow me to measure the change? This apparatus is extremely valid. ठीक है, you have your calcium carbonate, you have your HCl, you have a gas syringe, and you can easily measure the amount of carbon dioxide being produced. But do you guys think that you can measure the change with it? The answer is going to be a clear-cut no. Why a no? The apparatus is correct, the apparatus is valid, but the problem is with your procedure. You are just measuring for 30 seconds. आपका टेबल इधर complete है, इधर आप change measure कर सकते हो, इधर आप ये change measure नहीं कर सकते, because you've just measured it after 30 seconds, and after that you are not measuring it for 5 minutes or 6 minutes or a certain period of time. सिर्फ 30 seconds के बाद measure करने से मेरे पास change नहीं आएगा. ठीक है, so I have to Be persistent with my time. ठीक है, after every 30 or 40 seconds I have to measure to know the change. So that's rejected. Moving on to 3. अच्छा, अब 3 might seem कि इससे तो measure हो ही नहीं सकता, but let's read what the question says. Count and record the total number of bubbles of gas in the water every 30 seconds for 5 minutes. You might think that that's not correct, but to tell you, this is a correct method. Why? Because if you guys know biology, if you guys have taken biology, you should know that in biology, when we are measuring the amount of photosynthesis in a plant, what we measure is the amount of bubbles that are formed. For example, when we have to prove that oxygen is produced in photosynthesis, okay? When we have to prove that oxygen is produced in photosynthesis, what we do is, if you guys have studied biology, this might be relevant. Otherwise, it's fine. We take a plant, okay? This is a plant. We take water, and we basically place a filter funnel over it, and then bubbles are produced because the plant carries out photosynthesis and produces oxygen, and then we count the bubbles to know the rate of photosynthesis, how fast the oxygen is being produced. So that's a correct method, by counting bubbles. But this one is a bit unreliable. Why? Because एक bubble बड़ा भी हो सकता है and other bubble can be smaller. So this can be a bit unreliable in this method कि the size of the bubbles are not the same. आपको क्या पता है इसमें कितनी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड हो और अगला bubble छोटा उसमें कम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड हो. So that's incorrect. It might not be that accurate, but the method is correct. ठीक है, नंबर ऑफ बबल्स आपको बता सकते हैं कि कितनी वो बन रही है. द मेथड, देयर माइट बी सम इनएक्यूरेसीज इन इट, बट द मेथड ओवरऑल कैन बी यूज्ड. ठीक है, सो काउंट द नंबर, रिकॉर्ड द टोटल नंबर ऑफ बबल्स ऑफ गैस इन द वाटर एवरी 30 seconds for 5 minutes. अब ऑब्वियसली आपको पता है स्टार्टिंग में देयर गोना बी अ लॉट ऑफ बबल्स बिकॉज द रिएक्शन इज गोना बी फास्ट, और इसमें भी ऐसे ही टेबल बनेगा. एंड आफ्टर एवरी 30 seconds, first 30, 60, then 120, like this. You're going to continue 60, 70, 80, sorry, no, then 90, and then 120. We're going to continue. Over here it had to be 90 first. I'm so sorry. That's the table of 3. There had to be first a 90 over here. That's 60, then that's 90, then that's 120, and then you had to continue 150, 180, 210. That's the table of 3. इधर भी आपने ऐसे ही करना है for 5 minutes. ठीक है, 5 minutes for 30 seconds. So you can easily measure the rate. क्योंकि इसमें भी आप चेंज को मेजर कर सकते हैं क्योंकि आप ज़्यादा देर के लिए कर रहे हैं, बट इधर आप सिर्फ 30 seconds के लिए कर रहे हैं. सो ऑप्शन 2 माइट सीम करेक्ट बट इज़ इनकरेक्ट बिकॉज इट डज़ नॉट इनेबल अस टू मेजर द चेंज. हेंस द करेक्ट ऑप्शंस आर 1 and 3 only. And reading the pitfall students fall into. Candidates perform poorly on this question. नहीं, ये नहीं है. ये कौन सा क्वेश्चन है? Which question? Let's see the question number. Oh, we missed a question 16. So it's question number 17. And we have to do 16 as well. 17 पे देखते हैं. Some candidate missed an important detail. In method 2, while the experimental setup is valid, that means it's correct, only one reading is taken, so will not show how the rate of the reaction changes. So that was the important thing कि आपने सिर्फ एक reading लिया. Though the setup was valid and was correct, so you cannot measure the change which the question asked for. Okay, now question 16. Octane C8H18 is a hydrocarbon, ठीक है, and we know it that it's an alkane from the general formula and from the name. AN tells us it's an alkane. When octane is mixed with an excess oxygen, no change takes place unless energy is supplied. Okay, if energy is supplied in the form of heat or an electric spark, a change takes place. ठीक है. The products of this change include carbon dioxide. Which part of the description shows that the change is a chemical change? Now, one thing very important you might confuse is chemical change means the key takeaway over here is means a new product is formed. A new product is formed. That means you are making something new in a chemical change. You have to be aware of this thing, that a new product is being formed in a chemical change. ठीक है. अब now let's read. Which statement tells that it's a chemical change? Chemical change का मतलब है irreversible. irreversible भी होता है, मतलब वो रिवर्स नहीं हो सकता. और सेकेंडली एक नया प्रोडक्ट बनना चाहिए. Octane is a hydrocarbon. Does this statement tell you in any means that the change is chemical? No. No change takes place unless energy is supplied. Where is my new product being formed? Where is this telling me that it's irreversible? So, no, no. Option C, the change takes place quickly. Wow. A chemical as well as a physical change can be quick or slow depending on the rate of the reaction, but this never tells me that it's chemical. Where's the new product? Carbon dioxide is produced. This statement tells me that a new product is being formed, which tells me that this is a chemical change. So it's going to be option D. And I guess the main problem was the understanding of the chemical change, that a chemical change means that a new product is being formed and it's irreversible. ठीक है, वापस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से आप ऑक्टेन नहीं बना सकते. Candidates perform poorly on this question, which suggests that physical and chemical changes are not well known by candidates. ठीक है, so examiner knows that you guys don't know physical and chemical changes, so learn them because they might be tested. अच्छा, और physical changes में याद रखना, no new product is formed. Water melt हो रहा है, ice melt हो रही है, it's a physical change. कोई नया product नहीं बन रहा. Same H2O molecule remains H2O. ठीक है, diffusion हो रही है, particles moving from higher concentration to lower concentration, no new product is being formed. It's just the movement of particles. That's a physical change. Combustion हो रही है, a chemical change. Carbon dioxide, water being formed. ठीक है, precipitation reaction, a chemical change. A new precipitate is being formed. ठीक है, dissolving of a salt in water, a physical change. कोई नया product नहीं बन रहा, सिर्फ the ions are getting dissociated or dissolved. ठीक है. Which two oxides will both react with aqueous sodium hydroxide? ठीक है, ये है एक alkali. So the first thing we need is an acidic oxide to react with an alkali. So सबसे पहले तो अपने acidic oxides को ज़रा देख लेते हैं. Which are my acidic oxides? सिर्फ sulfur dioxide acidic है, sulfur dioxide है. But the thing over here that you guys should know is zinc oxide is amphoteric. Zinc oxide is amphoteric, which allows it to react with both acids and bases. ठीक है, so it's gonna be option D. That was easy. ठीक है, but I guess people didn't know about zinc oxide, and another oxide in your syllabus is aluminum oxide. So learn it, Al2O3 and ZnOr, amphoteric. Moving on, a solution of sodium carbonate is added to tap water. White precipitate forms. Which ion is present in tap water which causes the precipitate to form? Okay, सोडियम के साथ तो कोई आयन नहीं रिएक्ट किया तो precipitate बनेगा, because all Na salts, sodium salts are soluble. और soluble मतलब कोई ऐसा आयन है जो कार्बोनेट के साथ रिएक्ट करके इनसॉल्युबल बना है. कार्बोनेट के साथ क्लोराइड रिएक्ट करेगा तो कुछ इनसॉल्युबल बनेगा नहीं, बोथ आर नेगेटिव आइंस, बोथ विल नॉट रिएक्ट. मैग्नीशियम रिएक्ट करेगा तो क्या बनेगा? MgCO3, मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट, which is insoluble. So it's going to be option B, because that's going to form MgCO3, an insoluble salt. अब similarly कार्बोनेट को रिएक्ट करवाएं पोटेशियम के साथ, which will form K2CO3, which is a soluble salt. All group 1 salts are soluble. So but we need an insoluble salt because a white precipitate is being formed. और सल्फेट तो वैसे ही नेगेटिव आयन है, तो वो कार्बोनेट के साथ क्यों रिएक्ट करेगा? A simple thing which you had to think about. इसमें दो मिस्टेक थी स्टूडेंट्स की. The majority of candidates chose option A, suggesting poor knowledge of solubility rules of chlorides and carbonates. Solubility rules इसमें तो सब याद करके आते हैं, बट इधर आके कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं, उनको फिर समझ नहीं आती. देखें, सोडियम के साथ अगर सोडियम क्लोराइड फॉर्म हो भी गया तो सोडियम के सारे सॉल्ट सॉल्युबल हैं. सोडियम सल्फेट फॉर्म हो भी गया, ऑल सोडियम सॉल्ट्स, ऑल पोटेशियम सॉल्ट्स है सॉल्युबल. कार्बोनेट सिर्फ मैग्नीशियम का इनसॉल्युबल होगा, पोटेशियम का भी सॉल्युबल होगा. ओके, मूविंग ऑन. We just have 2 questions left, and I guess these were challenging enough. ठीक है, you have to agree upon the fact that all these questions, they were confusing. And this one's another confusing questions. I'd like you guys to first choose your option before I tell the right one, because that's going to make you practice. Some metals and the compounds in their ores are shown. ठीक है, aluminum oxide or bauxite ore, You don't need to know the name of the ore. कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट, लेड सल्फाइड, ये इसकी ओर है, इसमें से लेड निकलता है, ठीक है। सोडियम क्लोराइड की ओर में से सोडियम को हम निकालते हैं, और ये हमारे पास हेमाटाइट की हमारी ओर है, इसमें से हम अपने आयरन को निकालते हैं। मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट की ओर में से मैग्नीशियम निकलता है। विच टाइप ऑफ रिएक्शन occurs in the extraction of each of these metals from its ore? What do you guys think? Which type of reaction occurs? This word is important. Type of reaction they're asking about. What do you guys think? एक बात याद रखना, इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस इज़, देखें, इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस से आप सबकी ओर्स में से सारे मेटल्स निकाल सकते हैं, ठीक है, निकाल सकते होंगे, बट इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस इज़ नॉट अ टाइप ऑफ रिएक्शन. इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस इज़ अ प्रोसेस. इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस इज़ द मेथड यू यूज़. इट्स नॉट द टाइप ऑफ रिएक्शन दैट अकर्स. Decomposition by heat is the method you use, ठीक है, it's not the type of reaction. Type of reaction है thermal decomposition, ये type of reaction है. Thermal decomposition type है reaction की, decomposition by heat method है. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say, ठीक है. अब जो type of reaction बचते हैं वो सिर्फ दो हैं, precipitation and reduction. These are the types. Type of reaction क्या होते हैं? Addition, condensation, precipitation, रिडक्शन, ऑक्सीडेशन, ये टाइप्स हैं रिएक्शन की. इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस, डीकॉम्पोजिशन बाय हीट, डीकॉम्पोजिशन बाय कार्बन, ये मेथड्स हैं, ये प्रोसेसेस हैं, ठीक है. तो प्रेसिपिटेशन तो नहीं हो सकता, वो तो इनसॉल्युबल सॉल्ट्स के लिए तो सॉल्युबल हैं. सो नॉट प्रेसिपिटेशन, इट्स गोना बी रिडक्शन. एंड वाई रिडक्शन? आप देखें, सारे सॉल्ट्स, अब मैं आपको कॉन्सेप्ट, लेट मी टेल यू अबाउट द कॉन्सेप्ट. सारे सॉल्ट्स जितने भी आपके पास हैं, मेटल्स जब आप निकालते हैं उनकी ओर्स में से. अब मुझे एक बात बताएं, यहाँ पे इसमें इफ़ यू आर गुड टू गो विद योर redox chapter, what is the oxidation state of aluminum over here? If anyone of you can tell. Okay, that's +3, 3 plus. aluminum की oxidation state. और इधर क्या है aluminum की oxidation state? 0. metal की 0 होती है, calcium की 0, lead की 0, sodium की 0, Fe की 0. जब एक metal alone होता है, उसके साथ कुछ नहीं होता, तो 0. इधर क्या है calcium की? 2 plus. इधर लेड की क्या है? आई गेस 2 प्लस. इधर सोडियम की क्या है? 1 प्लस. इधर आयरन की क्या है? 3 प्लस. और मैग्नीशियम की इधर क्या है? 2 प्लस. कैन यू सी अ ट्रेंड? सारे मेटल्स, जितने भी मेटल्स हैं, सारे 3 प्लस से 0. व्हाट इज़ दिस? इज़ दिस ऑक्सीडेशन और रिडक्शन? 3 प्लस से 0 पे जाना, इज़ दिस ऑक्सीडेशन और रिडक्शन? दैट्स क्लियर कट रिडक्शन. बेटा, रिडक्शन इज़ योर लॉस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, योर डिक्रीज़ इन ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर. 3 से आप 0 पे जा रहे हैं, क्या ये डिक्रीज़ नहीं है? आप 2 से 0 पे जा रहे हैं, आप 2 से 0 पे जा रहे हैं, 1 से 0 पे जा रहे हैं. सो दैट्स अ रिडक्शन. आपके पहले 3 मार्क्स आते हैं टेस्ट में, फिर आपके 0 मार्क्स आते हैं. सो व्हाट आर यू गोना से? आरंट योर मार्क्स रिड्यूस्ड? पहले कम से कम 10 में से 3 आ जाते थे, अब 10 में से 0 आते हैं. सो आरंट योर मार्क्स रिड्यूस्ड? 3 से 0 पे चले गए. सो सब में रिडक्शन हो रही है, सारे मेटल्स में 2 से 0 पे. सो द प्रोसेस बाय विच, not the process तो electrolysis या वो होगा. the type of reaction that occurs when all metals are being taken out of their ores is reduction. I hope this thing was clear. Moving on to the last question of this. Okay, first choose your answer, then we're gonna discuss it. ठीक है, आपने अगर अपना आंसर चूज़ कर लिया, so let's start. Which statement is correct? ठीक है. A filtrate is left on the filter paper during filtration. Clear cut incorrect. What's left on the filter paper is not a filtrate, that's a residue. What goes in, what passes through the filter paper is basically a filtrate. Moving on. A saturated solution is a solution that contains only substances with single bonds. Oh, this statement is so, which is such a big distractor. It seems 100% to be correct. क्योंकि हमने अपने ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री में पढ़ा है कि सैचुरेटेड जो होता है कॉम्पाउंड, उसमें सारे सिंगल बॉन्ड्स होते हैं. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली इधर वो सैचुरेटेड कॉम्पाउंड की बात नहीं कर रहे, इधर वो सैचुरेटेड सोल्यूशन की बात करें बच्चे. अ सैचुरेटेड सोल्यूशन वो सोल्यूशन होता है, याद है क्रिस्टलाइजेशन में हम अपने सोल्यूशन को सैचुरेट करते थे ताकि उसके क्रिस्टल बन जाए. तो यहाँ पे ये वही वाला सैचुरेटेड सोल्यूशन है जिसमें मैक्सिमम अमाउंट ऑफ सोल्यूट डिजॉल्व होता है एट अ गिवन टेम्परेचर. ये वो सोल्यूशन नहीं है जिसमें सिंगल बॉन्ड्स हैं. सिंगल बॉन्ड्स हो ना हो मैटर नहीं करता. ये वो वाला सोल्यूशन है जिसमें मैक्सिमम अमाउंट ऑफ सोल्यूट डिजॉल्व है एट अ स्पेसिफाइड टेम्परेचर इन द सॉल्वेंट. सो ऑप्शन 2 विच सीम्स वेरी वेरी right is incorrect, unfortunately. Okay, so many of you might have thought about this कि saturated solution में तो single bonds होते हैं, वो saturated hydrocarbon में होते हैं, वो saturated organic compounds में होते हैं, not in solutions. अच्छा, a solute is a substance that dissolves a solvent. A solute is a substance एक solute एक ऐसा substance है that dissolves a solvent. नहीं, that's incorrect. A solvent is a substance that dissolves a solute. A solute is basically, for example, if you're dissolving sugar in water, sugar is your solute and water is the solvent. Solvent है water और solute है sugar. So, a solute is a substance that dissolves a solvent. तो क्या sugar dissolve करेगी water को? नहीं. Water dissolve करेगा ना sugar को. Moving on to option D, a solution can never be described as pure. Okay, शायद एक solution कभी भी pure नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि it's not made up of a single substance. What is a solution? A solution is when a solute is dissolved in a solvent. Pure चीज़ क्या होती है? Pure, something is pure when it's made up of a single type of thing. ठीक है? एक solution में you mix 2 or 3 things together. So that's not pure. जब आप एक solution की chromatography करेंगे ना तो you're not gonna see one spot. जो pure चीज़ होती हैं उनकी chromatography में आपको सिर्फ एक spot नज़र आता है. जब भी आप एक solution की chromatography करेंगे तो आपको 2-3 spots नज़र आएंगे क्योंकि it's made up of different type of substances. So a solution can never be described as pure. So here we come to an end of our paper. I hope you like this video. Let's check out what was the mistake most people made in this question. Question number 39. Option B was a popular incorrect choice. A popular incorrect choice. Candidates selecting this option confused the use of the term saturated when applied to hydrocarbons with the saturated solution. That was what I was telling you. So we're done with it, I guess. And option 22 में, question number 22 में, what was the mistake? Majority of the candidates chose option A, suggesting poor knowledge of the solubility. अच्छा ये वाली नहीं है, लेकिन वो solute solvent वाली किधर है? एक second. Which question was the solute solvent one? That was 29. ये 29 है. 39 solute solvent वाला था. अच्छा ये वही वाला है. Sorry. I'm so sorry. So we're done with this video. I hope this was helpful. And if you guys liked it, subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching the video. I hope it provided value to you guys. See you in the next video.